across South Wales is a giant star map with the mounds on the hills. Their positioning is significant. It goes right back to the old Chaldean principles of as above, so below. So, for example, the 3 mounds on the Garth Mountain near where I live, they're said to represent the belt of Orion. Then you have the Monkey Tub. It's labelled as a Norman Motton Bailey Castle in Tontegg, a couple of miles away, is the tip of his sword. You got Regal, another mound, another hill, 1 foot, over across, right by where the St. Kenneth development is the other foot. You can see, for example, Betelgeuse, or Beetlejuice as people call it, the red star as part of Orion. So that'd be Corch in Welsh. You'd be looking for Mound Corch or something like that. And there, right on the elbow, is Castell Corch. And you can see the other mounds for the other parts. And this goes all the way across South Wales. Now, the key part of this is St. Kenneth Common. Because what's happened there is there's like a mini version, is what we think at the moment. We're still working out exactly how it works, but it seems to be a mini version of the map. We've got a Polaris stone there, which has confused some people because that's not the Polaris for the big map. This is where I get a bit of confusion. But for this smaller, it's what we think is a teaching area where you could learn all about the stars and the planets, how it all works. And this is mentioned in the Mabinogi when you get this story of Arthur playing a game of Gwrthbwyll. It's like a board game. Available through the website, by the way, if you want to get yourself a copy. Ideal Christmas present. But anyway, so what they're doing there is explaining about the planet's movement and the stars. And there are lots of little groups of stones all around St. Kenneth Common, which can be viewed, and from that you can learn your star knowledge. So it's crucially important, not just local interest or national interest, I would say world interest. It's like the Nazca things in Central America, where you can see from above, you know, these massive representations of stars and whatever they're doing with their thing. This is the Welsh equivalent. It's about to get absolutely destroyed. And as I'm going to show in this video, it's not just the when you look at wind turbines, I made this mistake. You see that small area they're on, and you think, well, maybe they can avoid things. It's far more to it than that. The main damage is done with the access roads, and also this huge area that needs to be levelled, concreted, so you've got a place to put the crane, the roads to deliver the goods. Watch this. It's even worse than I thought.
Yeah, and there you are. That's around each turbine. That is what's going to happen. You've got a 20-meter diameter.
Sorry, is this based on a 200-meter turbine or?
No, this is based on a smaller turbine. This is based on
it'd be even bigger than this, won't it?
I think these are 105. So you've got a 20-meter diameter concrete foundation, reinforced concrete foundation, that goes down about 4.5, 5 meters.
4.5, 5 meters.
Yeah. Probably for a 200-meter one. They go down at least 3.5, 4.5 meters for 125 meters.
You're talking about 20 feet or more then for those in old money.
And a big reinforced cage of reinforced metal and then concrete. Go back. And then you've got the crane pad area where they're working. You can see the vehicles working on the crane pad. Yeah. Loading up the lorries. You can see the size of an articulated lorry.
Yeah.
And they've got to create that area then in order to put the crane on it in order to lift up the nacelle and the turbine blades onto the tower, and the tower sections themselves, of course. And then you've got the stone access track, which is going to be at least 8 meters wide. And then when it goes around the corners, you need it because of the vehicle. Corners, it needs to be wider on the corners.
So at least 25 feet wide and getting wider on the corners, yeah.
So and this is what actually happened at Mynydd na Gêr. These are the Google images from the time that it was constructed. So that happened at Mynydd na Gêr, and the Mynydd na Gêr turbines, I think, are only about 105 meters.
Jeez, man, they're bad enough, and it's going to be double that, isn't it? Plus more.
Yeah. Wow. They're going to be up to 200 meters, these turbines. So
600 feet,
yeah, the concrete foundation is going to be probably a bit bigger. It won't be much bigger because, of course, when you add 25 meters onto the diameter, the actual area you're putting all around it is quite big.
Yeah, might just have a bit more depth.
So it won't be much bigger and much more depth even. but the crane pads is going to be about the same size. So you're going to get, equivalent for each of those 20 turbines. So from Martin's point of view, if he's interested in anything up there, he's got some rocks or anything like that, because he's into the rock art, and if these rocks for potentially the
star map I'm looking at as well,
the star map up there. He needs to go around and look at each of these turbines, and if there's any of the stones he's interested in which fit within that kind of footprint, he needs to flag it up to the developers as soon as possible, and he needs to flag it up to the heritage consultants.
So that's what we're doing at the moment. Yeah. Well,
yeah,
Martin's doing a much better job than I am. Yeah.
What he needs to do, I think, is to get. I'd love to be in attendance as well, is to try and get a meeting on site with the heritage consultants, and walk them around and show them what the issues are as far as Martin's concerned. Because there's an awful lot of stones up there, and none of it's recorded. And you can see from CADW, all they're interested in is what's on our CADW register.
Yeah.
And also, when it comes down to making a decision, they're looking at things of national importance.
What does that mean?
Well, national importance. Sutton Hoo is of national importance.
Yeah, but it's a kind of
but you can argue,
isn't it? It's a very vague definition.
Yeah, well, yeah, but you can argue that Sutton Hoo's national importance because so Stonehenge national importance. But if you've got a burial mound, that can be regional importance.
Yeah, but
and then you've got like if you just got a stone. Well, that could be regarded as national importance if it's a big old standing stone, a bit like Avebury or something like that. I think they've done a good job in visual mitigation ways, the way they laid the turbines out, where they've laid them, etc. like that. So they thought about it, but from the perspective of where all the people are, Senghenith. So
as long as they never leave their houses anyway.
Yeah, so that's where all the people live, and if you're traveling up and down the road there, you won't be able to see them at the head of the valley, which is good thinking. Yeah. The problem is how are they going to route the access tracks, these 8-meter wide stone access tracks? How are they going to route them and get them from one side of the dikes to the other? And as I said before, turbine 4 is particularly a problem. If you look at this map here, turbine 4, you can see right at the top there. Turbine 4 is in that location there, and it's almost surrounded by the main dike and the cross dikes. It's in there, so the only way you can get into there is through this little gap here. So that their access track to turbine 4 has got to go through that gap. Otherwise, it's going to take out either the cross dikes or the main dike.
Right. Yes. Yes, good point.
Now, there's a lot of issues here, and the problem is, unless Martin's got some concrete evidence to show that these stones are important, I suspect that people like GAT and CADW are just going to say, well, even if they are ancient stones and things like that, they're only of local importance. And therefore, in the terms of the national importance of the renewable energy, the stone has to go.
Yeah, well, I think from my point of view, is the star map up there. Well, that should be of national importance because it's phenomenal. But we need to map it as fast as we can, don't we? Just to
exactly. That needs to be mapped, and that mapping then needs to be placed in front of the relevant authorities. It needs to be placed in front of the CADW, Gwent and Glamorgan Archaeological Trust, and the heritage consultants for the Windfarm.
Yeah, that's what we're doing at the moment. Yeah, with Llewellyn Bren and the locals there.
Yeah,
we need to move faster.
If it's not, and again, what Martin needs to ensure, as I said, is when you look at the area around each of the turbines which could be disturbed, he needs to be going around each of those turbine locations to make certain that
it's 40 meters round. Yeah, well, not just Martin.
There's nothing important in that star map which is within that area, and if it is, it needs to be flagged up and somehow protected and kept.
Yeah,
or if not protected and kept. kept. Its location needs to be precisely recorded.
Yeah. It's not just Martin. We need other people up there. You can't possibly do it in the time we've got. Be one of the ones, if I got the map right, I'm trying to work it out looking at it, is number 7 would be right by the Polaris stone, wouldn't it? Is that right?
Yeah, well, the Polaris stones, according to Wilson and Blackett, is down here, isn't it? If we can find it, it's down here at Craig.
Oh, we got Craigur-Ruthven is another. Yeah, there's 2 issues going on there. Craigur-Ruthven's another thing again, because that's where it seems to be the ruins of an old building and stuff, which we know what that is as well. But that's a slightly different issue. But number 7 is definitely those 3 standing stones, the 2 large ones and the smaller one, which seems to fit in with Polaris.
Yeah, and the issue there is they might not site the turbine on the stones.
Yeah,
it's whether the access track goes through the stones, to get to the turbine. It's those kind of issues that need to be looked at for each of these individual turbines. Now,
even if it's nearby, it still ruins it, doesn't it? This is the problem as well.
Well, at least if you could protect it, at least it's there for the future. Because in 25 years' time, these turbines will be taken down. By that time, hopefully, someone will crack fusion power. We won't need wind turbines.
Yeah, Bob's been a little bit tongue-in-cheek, a little bit mischievous there. Because as you might have seen in the Dirty Tricks video, quite often they don't clear up after 20-25 years. Sometimes company names change and is known liable, and despite being paid to clear the site, they just left. And these massive towers just rust away, I don't know, forever. The concrete platforms definitely will never go. I mean, they're thousands and thousands of tons of concrete reinforced. So they can be there for good. So this is happening now, okay? It's not a case of sometime in the future or some crazy conspiracy. This is happening now. Initial consultation period lasted about 10 days and has finished. So in the description there'll be email addresses and contact details of people that you need to contact and express your concern. Because when this was gone, it really will be gone for good. It'll be a tragedy on a worldwide significant level.